Now we're going to take a look at the cross-collar choke from closed guard. Very basic choke, taught on the first day of closed guard to most white belts, and you can have a lot of success with it if you set it up correctly. I've got Marty in my closed guard. Things are going pretty well. Pace has slowed down a little bit. The number one thing I need to do is break Marty's posture. There's a number of ways that we can do this. The most easy way, and the way that's overlooked the most, is pulling forward with my legs. So many people get caught up on doing this, and that's great for breaking posture, but it uses a lot more of your arm muscles and not your really core muscles like your abdominals and your thighs. You want to use those really big muscle groups. So we're going to clear his hands from our chest, just flick them out to the side, pull forward with my legs. Now, once I get him there, if you want to reach up, hold him down, that's great, but let's start breaking that posture with the legs instead of with the arms. So I get here, I pull him forward. All right, his chest is towards me, I sit up, I kill his posture all the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand, and it's going to feed into the collar, all right? If his head is all the way down, it won't be easy, right? Well, that's why we're going to make space to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shrimp my hips out to the right first. I want to set my right hand, I move to the right first. What that will do is open up a pocket for my hand to go into the collar. So we'll see it from multiple angles, but I'll typically put a thumb in the collar on the back, make sure I keep his posture broke down nice and tight. I'm going to open my legs, and I'm going to move my hips. This hand should be right here at the door waiting, right? So I'm here, it goes to the door, I move my hips, and now I'm going to feed with that thumb that was in the collar. I'm going to feed the collar around to my hand. Again, we'll see it in a second. Now here's where people mess up. They try to finish right here. They try to come around. You know, a guy's going to be nice and tight. There's going to be problems there. So I need to shrimp all the way to the other side. I go flat, and I come to the other side. Now you can notice this forearm in Marty's neck. That's great. We're going to use that elbow to buy us space for this second hand. Don't lift with the whole forearm. You won't be able to do it. Just lift with the elbow. You see how he jumped a little bit? Lift with the elbow, and then this other hand comes underneath and feeds into that collar over here. Once I have this collar grip, you want to try and make sure that your hands are tight. Your setup hand, the first one, is the most important. This one's important too, but you want to get it as deep as possible. You're going to change my angle. That's good. Now from here, I'm going to go back flat to the floor, and I'm going to bring my elbows down to my hips. How can you tell if your grip is tight enough? Well, he'll tap, number one, but when I open my hands behind his neck, my fingers should almost touch or touch. If your hands have this big gap on the back of his collar back here, where they come like this, you're not going to tap him. So that setup hand has to come back and contour to the neck. We'll take a look at that in a second at another angle, okay? So I'm here, from the beginning, right? So I'm here, I put that thumb in the collar. Nice and tight, hand goes at that door, I move my hips away, and I feed that collar around, keeping them nice and tight to me. Now I shrimp out to the other side, nice and tight, and I'm lifting with that elbow. I like to cup the head, make sure I keep tight as possible. I'll come back under here, that hand goes all the way around. I open my fingers, I can almost touch. I'm good, I'm going to choke the fool out of him here. I go flat to my back, this head comes to my chest, I'm going to bring my elbows down to my hips, and I'm going to pull nice and tight with my hands. Let's look at it again from a different angle. Alright, Marty's got good posture, so we've got to break it. I flick the hands, pull forward with the legs. Reach up, bring his posture all the way down. Now, I'm going to put my hand at the head, here, thumb in the collar. My hand's at the door, I open my hips, and look at it come through. I'm going to take that hand, I'm going to feed this hand as deep as I can. And it's going to be difficult to get all the way back here, because my hips are out to the other side. That's why it's important to take that thumb and feed as deep as I can. Now, I open my guard, I move back one, I move back two. This hand right here is going to start to come to the door, but what do I have to do? I lift with my elbow. Hand comes underneath, I get a good grip. I open my fingers, they can almost touch. I'm good here. Now watch my hips. Comes back underneath here, bring his head to my shoulder, my chest, and I'm going to bring those elbows down to my hip line right here. All right? If you start to pull and you don't get to finish, there's other things we can do, but don't burn out your arms trying to get the cross collar choke if it's not there. Only repetitions and practice are going to let you know if you're close or not. If you're close, go for it. If you're not close, we'll set it up a different way.